Hello everybody, welcome to another speed art video where in this one I will be practicing arms and legs specifically. And I kind of wanted to maybe talk a little bit about what I think about when I'm doing these studies. Kind of just explain my thought process and what goes behind it so that you maybe can learn from it or, whatever you want to do. The biggest thing that I try to remember is honestly foreshortening and perspective, in that if an arm or a leg is pointed towards the camera, that it's way shorter than you will think. Like you might be like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit no, it's half it and then you'll be fine. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I just try to think about the flow of the leg, and I try to exaggerate the forms a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. And in that way, I mean that I'm exaggerating it to the point where it's realistic. For example, I always think an ankle is always way skinnier than I think it is, even on people that have more body weight. And the same with wrists or elbows. Well, elbows is like the opposite thing, but the size of that is always more exaggerated than what I think. Or like the size of the biceps, for example, it's always thicker than what I first think it's gonna be. And so in that way, I really try to draw from what I'm seeing from these references, but I really try to keep those other kind of thought patterns in mind, like what you would use when you're drawing something from imagination, all of those kind of basis things that you can think about. For example, planes of the faces, or foreshortening, or perspective, or maybe even design principles, like how 50-50 is bad and 30-70 is way better. Like those kind of proportions, I think about those while I'm drawing it, but I'm not using that as the basis of when I'm drawing these things from reference, when I'm specifically trying to capture the essence of the pose. If you were wondering about why the face and the body was maybe neglected in these series, in this specific episode, it's because I was trying to focus on arms and legs, because that was one of the homeworks that I had to do. So yeah, I try to keep those kind of things in mind of how stuff wraps around each other. Maybe also even I do even try to keep in mind actual anatomy, like muscle structure and bone structure and stuff. I also try to keep in mind that bones are never straight. You can never draw a line straight down from the hip to the floor. That will never be where a human's body actually is. So I never try to draw straight lines either. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you maybe learned something. And let me know what you maybe keep in mind when you're drawing arms and legs or anatomy in general. So yeah, thank you for listening to this video or watching it. I hope you did both. Yeah, and I'll see you next week.